Hello students, welcome to grade 9 biology, unit 2 cell biology. In this lesson we are going to study microscope. But before we are going to talk about microscope, let me give you an overview about cell biology. Cell biology or cytology is a branch of biology that studies about structures, functions and behaviors of cells. So what is cell mean? Cell is the smallest basic units of life that is responsible to perform all types of life processes. In this case, cell is the fundamental units of life. Organisms, either it can be unicellular organism or multicellular organism. All these organisms are made from these fundamental units of life. Okay, let's get back to microscope. Biologists have used different biological tools to study living organisms in a given environment. The most important device that biologists have been using to study living organisms in our surrounding is microscope. Microscope is a device that magnifies living specimens several times. In this case, biologists can see microorganisms and the building blocks or fundamentals of life, what we call cells, to understand living organisms. Based on their sizes, living organisms can be microorganisms and macroorganisms. So, microscope helps us to see microorganisms that cannot be seen by our naked eye. There are some cells that can be seen very easily with naked eyes without using microscope. For example, unfertilized bird eggs are easily visible to human naked eyes. Mostly, the largest single cell in the world, ostrich egg cell, is highly visible to human naked eye. When we see the sizes of ostrich egg cell, they are about 18 centimeters long and it weighs 1.2 kilogram. The development of the microscope helps us to know about structure of cells. Since it helps us to see and study structures of cells, it improves our knowledge and understanding of cell structure in general. The development of microscope makes human being able to look at cells for about 300 years. To see structures and specializations of cells, there are too many types of microscopes that scientists or biologists have been using. These are light microscope and electron microscope. Light microscope is a device that uses beam of light to form the image of an object. In contrast, electron microscope is magnifying device that use beam of electrons to form the images of an object. When we see magnification and resolution power of microscope, first we need to define what is magnification. Magnification means increasing the sizes of an object in order to make the object more visible to human eye. Microscopes are also useful because they magnify smaller things in order to be highly or significantly visible to human eye by making these objects look bigger. Light microscopes capable to magnify up to around 2000 times. Light microscopes have given us a lot of information about the structures of cells. If an average person gets magnified by this best light microscope that capable to magnify 2000 times, this person would be about 3.5 kilometers tall. When we see the magnification power of electron microscope can magnify around 2 million times. Electron microscope have been used for the last 50 years. It is the latest and the youngest device to magnify microorganisms to be seen by human naked eye. Electron microscope makes it possible for us to learn a lot more about cells, and it helps us to see ways how cells become specialized for a particular function. If an average person gets magnified by electron microscope, this person would be about 3,500 kilometers tall. So you can compare and contrast the magnification power of electron microscope and light microscope. You see, resolution. What does resolution means? Resolution is the ability of the microscope to distinguish between two separate points or objects. So the resolving power of a microscope that affects how much detail we can see the object. The greater the resolving power of the microscope, the more detail it can show us. When we see the resolution power of optical light microscope and electron microscope, optical light microscope has limited resolution power as compared with electron microscope. Optical light microscope limit of resolution is approximately 200 nanometer. The magnification power of this light microscope is affected by the resolving power of the wavelengths of light. Since wavelengths of light is longer, it cannot magnify and resolve that much as compared with electron microscope. Light microscope has problems of limited detail it can show. There is a minimum distance between two objects for them to be seen clearly as separate. If they are closer together than this, they are seen as one thing. This distance is known as limited resolution. Why light microscope has this limited resolution, or the resolution and the magnification power is this much so limited? Because optical light microscope uses beam of light that has longer wavelengths. In contrast, electron microscope see more detail clearly, where an electron beam is used to make the image. This beam of electron has the shorter wavelengths. When the wavelengths of the electron gets smaller and shorter, the resolving power also gets increased. So electron microscope uses beam of electron that has shorter wavelengths. Since it uses this beam of electron that has shorter wavelengths, it's capable to magnify and resolve objects more clearly as compared with light microscope. Electron microscope has a resolving power around 1,000 times better than light microscope. It can resolve about 0.3 nanometer distant between objects. That means electron microscope see objects that are 0.3 nanometer apart as separate. In this case, electron microscope has a greater resolving power than that of light microscope. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to get the next video, subscribe, comment and share this video.